Hey, Sunil here, and in this video, we'll be going over how to build lead lists, right? I already covered with you how to use Apollo.io, right? I'm going to be sharing with you alternative methods to how you can source leads to power your outbound campaigns. Now, here are some affordable data sources. If you're on a tight budget, this is the combination that I would recommend, right? Which I covered already in my previous video. This should be Apollo.io, and then bulk email checker to verify the leads that you get from Apollo.io. Total cost would be around $82, right? 83 roughly, right? And you can just use these to power your outbound campaigns with, in regards to data. Now, here's how the workflow looks like. As you already know, you create the Apollo.io search URL, you scrape out the list, and then verify using bulk email checker. Now, I already covered the live walkthrough for you guys. So the next question would be, is this the best solution? The answer to that is no, right? It's affordable, right? You can associate this for cheap. I'm not saying this is bad, this still works, but it's not the best solution that's out there. Why is it not the case? Because it's cheap, right? There's a low barrier of entry. A lot of agencies and cold emailers, right, use this combination already, right? But it still works, as long as you can differentiate yourself pretty strongly. So if you are starting out, if you want to get your first few clients, use the combination for now, right? And then diversify your data sources. Now, what's the better alternative? Using data sources that are not, that not a lot of people are using, like Prospeo, Datagmart, Dropcontact, ICPs, Nimbler, and so on. You can start differentiating yourself from there, right from the data that you use. Right, here are some statistics about data from Zoom Inflows below, right? 62% of organizations rely on marketing and prospecting data that is 20 to 40% incomplete or inaccurate. And inaccurate B2B contact data wastes 27.3% of sales reps' time, right? That's 546 hours per year per full-time inside sales rep. Inaccurate data has a direct impact on the bottom line of 88% of businesses, with the average company losing 12% of its revenue as a result. Companies that employ consistent data hygiene create 700% the number of inquiries and 400% the number of leads than those who do not, right? So that should give you some insight into why data coverage and data hygiene is very, very important. Now, the problem with data providers, the traditional data providers, is the biggest problem with traditional data providers at the moment are twofold. Right? They're expensive as fuck, and they tend to restrain you and restrict you into annual contracts, which again makes it more expensive. And the data coverage again is not the best. Right? Data coverage in sales, especially when it comes to contact data, is all about how complete and accurate your information is for potential leads and customers. This means having up-to-date names, job titles, emails, phone numbers, and company details. When you have higher data coverage, your sales team can reach out much more effectively and engage with the right audience, making your sales campaigns much more efficient and successful. Plus, it helps you segment and personalize your sales efforts way better, which can lead to higher conversion rates. What a lot of these traditional data providers lack is the capability to provide us enough data coverage, like I mentioned before. Waterfall enrichment is the solution to that. Now, what is waterfall enrichment? Waterfall enrichment is the solution to this problem, obviously, right? Now, you basically, what you do here is waterfall data providers, one step after one step after one step. This means you check 5+ different data providers. If provider A doesn't have if provider A doesn't have the email, boom, you fall into provider B, and then you again fall into provider C, and then fall into provider D, provider E. You keep waterfalling, right? Keep falling. Hope I'm moving my hands properly. you know, this process continues until you find the email you want, and you only pay when you find a match. Right? This way, you can maximize coverage and minimize price. Your coverage will increase by 2 to 3x, and your cost will plummet relative to leading providers like ZoomInfo. I'm not saying ZoomInfo is bad or something like that, but this is a much better alternative compared to just using ZoomInfo. Now, how do you do this exactly? Clay. Clay is the solution to this, right? If you were to go and get these data providers individually, you'll be spending a lot of money, and you would be having a hard time integrating all of them as well, right? If you do not use Clay, that is. Now, here's a live walkthrough on how you can do this, right, inside Clay. Okay, so here's a live walkthrough on the waterfall enrichment workflow, right? You go to add column, add enrichment, and then you type in work email. Under waterfall, you'll get work email. And then what I would do is, as a last option, I would actually keep lead match. And here's the data providers I'm using. The inputs I'm using: full name, corporate domain, validation, right? I'll use dbounds. Basically what this does is and then only mark save to send emails as valid. Yes, I want this on, right? Because catch-all emails will be returned as valid if you do not turn this on, right? So you got to be careful about that. And then, right, what this is going to do is pretty much it's going to run the data through all these 6 providers. So let me show you how this is going to happen. So I'm going to hit save and then run 50 rows, right? Hit run. Now, what it is going to do is, as you can see, it's going to run the data through the 6 data providers, right? As you can see, it didn't find the email here in Prospeo, so it's finding it through find email. It didn't find it through find email, so it's now running it through Datagma, and then it's not in Datagma, so it's going through Hunter, and then since it's not in Hunter, it's going through ICPs, and since it's not in ICP, it's going to go into Lead Magic. So it's cycling through each data provider to see if that is a valid work email or not. So that's how this waterfall enrichment workflow works. So with that being said, right, I hope this video was useful. If you want us to handle this process entirely for you, if you want us to do the entire waterfall enrichment workflow for your lead list, then always feel free to book a call with me. I'm happy to walk you through your data requirements and see how I can help. Thank you.